Welcome back to the rarest coins today. We're diving into one of the most fascinating coins in American numismatic history, the 1960 D. Lincoln penny. Yes, you heard that right. A single penny, struck in Denver in 1960, reportedly sold for a staggering $1.9 million. That's right, nearly $2 million for a 1-cent coin. So what's the story behind this small copper coin? Why is it so valuable? And could you possibly have one sitting unnoticed in your change jar? Let's find out. To understand why the 1960 D. Lincoln penny is so special, we need to start with a little background. The Lincoln cent has been in circulation since 1909, originally released to commemorate Abraham Lincoln's 100th birthday. It was the first U.S. coin to feature a real historical person instead of the usual Lady Liberty design. Designed by Victor David Brenner, the obverse of the coin features a portrait of Lincoln that's become iconic over the decades. Now fast forward to 1960. This was a transitional year for the Lincoln penny. The U.S. Mint made two different varieties that year, the small date and the large date. Both versions were minted in Philadelphia and Denver, and both had minor differences in the size and style of the date stamped on the coin. The differences are subtle to the untrained eye, but to collectors, they make all the difference. In Denver, where the famous 1960 D penny was minted, the small date version is considered far more rare. And that's where the magic begins. A small number of these 1960 D small date pennies were mistakenly struck using leftover dies, or under unique conditions that weren't meant for mass production. These types of coins are called error coins or variety coins. Sometimes they feature double strikes, die clashes, repunched mint marks, or other minting anomalies. In the case of the 1960 D penny, it's a combination of rarity, mint variety, and pristine condition that drives the value through the roof. One particular specimen stood out among them all. It was graded as a proof-like coin in extraordinary condition, with near-perfect detail, almost as if it had just rolled out of the mint. According to several reports and collector communities, this unique coin sold for approximately $1.9 million at a private auction. Now that kind of value doesn't come from just age or condition alone. It's the combination of multiple rare factors. You've got the Denver mint mark, the small date variety, the error anomaly, and a near-flawless grade. Grading, by the way, plays a huge role in the value of any coin. Most coins in circulation are considered well-worn, which drops their value significantly. But if a coin is found in mint state, say MS 65 or higher, and features a rare variety or error, then the value skyrockets. The grading scale runs from 1 to 70, and coins closer to 70 are considered gem quality. So when you combine a rare minting variety with a pristine MS 67 or MS 68 grade, you're entering serious money territory. Now you might be asking, could I have one of these coins? Technically, yes. These coins were produced for circulation and could still be out there. But realistically, the most valuable ones have already been found, authenticated, and sold. That being said, thousands of collectors still sift through old rolls of pennies from banks and estate sales looking for that elusive small-date Denver Mint 1960 penny. So how can you tell if you've got one? The main thing to look at is the date. Specifically the number 0 in 1960. On the small-date variety, the 0 is level with the 9 and 6 and appears smaller overall. On the large-date variety, the 0 is taller and aligns more evenly with the rest of the digits. It takes a sharp eye and sometimes even a magnifying glass to tell the difference. Also check for the mint mark. You want the D for Denver. If it's a 1960 D small date and it's in really good condition, it might be worth sending it off to a grading service like PCGS or NGC to get it authenticated. Even if it's not the $1.9 million coin, it could still be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars depending on the condition. Now here's a little-known fact. The 1960 D penny was produced in massive numbers. Over 1.5 billion were struck. That's why most of them aren't valuable. It's only the rare small-date versions in top condition or with minting errors that are worth serious money. So what can we take away from this? First, never underestimate the value of a penny. Something so small, overlooked, and ordinary can be worth a fortune under the right circumstances. Second, learn to recognize key features like small date versus large date, mint marks, and common error types. And third, always check your change. You never know what treasures might be hiding right in plain sight. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the mystery and value of the 1960 D. Lincoln penny, be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell icon so you never miss another story from the world of rare coins and collectibles. Let us know in the comments if you've ever found a rare penny or have one of these 1960 D small date versions in your collection. Until next time, keep searching, stay curious, and happy collecting. If you want this tailored more for a specific style, documentary tone, short form version, or casual vlog, just let me know and I'll adjust it. Welcome back to the channel, where we explore the fascinating world of coins, currency, and collectibles. Today, we're diving into a seemingly ordinary piece of pocket change that turned out to be worth a life-changing amount of money. That's right, we're talking about the 1967 Lincoln penny. One of these coins, under the right conditions, has sold for a jaw-dropping $1.5 million. It might sound unbelievable, but there's real history, rarity, and value behind that number. So what exactly makes this coin so special? Why would someone pay over $1 million for a 1-cent coin minted in 1967? And more importantly, could there be more of these coins out there waiting to be discovered? Let's go back in time for a moment. The Lincoln cent, introduced in 1909, was originally created to commemorate the 100th birthday of President Abraham Lincoln. Designed by Victor David Brenner, it was the first U.S. coin to feature a real person. The design has changed slightly over the decades, but the 1967 penny still carries Brenner's original image of Lincoln on the obverse, or front, of the coin. Now let's talk about the year 1967. This was a unique period in American coin history. The United States Mint was dealing with a national coin shortage in the mid-1960s. In response, the Mint temporarily removed mint marks from all coins produced from 1965 to 1967 to discourage collectors from hoarding them. So unlike most years, you won't find a mint mark on the 1967 Lincoln penny. That alone makes it a bit different, but rarity doesn't just come from missing mint marks. The real value lies in something much more unexpected: mint errors, die varieties, and ultra-high-quality examples. Let's start with one of the most valuable forms of the 1967 penny, the ultra-high-grade specimen strikes and error coins. There are reports of a 1967 Lincoln cent that was struck on the wrong planchet, possibly a silver dime or foreign coin stock, and graded at an extraordinary level by a top grading service. That specimen, due to its rarity, pristine condition, and historical significance, ended up selling in a private transaction for an estimated $1.5 million. That kind of value doesn't happen every day. It takes a perfect storm of factors to push a penny into the million-dollar range. First, it needs to have a rare mint error, like being struck on the wrong metal planchet, or double struck in a dramatic way. Second, the coin needs to be in near-perfect condition, what collectors call mint state or proof-like. And third, it has to be authenticated and graded by a reputable grading company like PCGS or NGC, which gives buyers confidence in the coin's authenticity and condition. So how rare is a $1 million 1967 penny? Extremely rare. Out of the billions of pennies struck that year, over 3 billion, to be exact, only a handful may carry the types of errors or conditions that collectors would consider worth 5 or 6 figures, let alone over $1 million. But the possibility is there, and that's what keeps collectors searching. Let's talk a bit more about what to look for if you're hunting for a valuable 1967 penny. First, examine the coin for unusual color, weight, or thickness. If it looks silvery, it could have been struck on a dime planchet, which would make it a wrong planchet error. That alone can be worth thousands, especially if it's in great shape. Second, check for die errors, things like double dies, off-center strikes, clipped planchets, or die cracks. These are all visible signs that the coin was struck improperly at the mint, and they can significantly boost the value. Third, check the condition of the coin. Even without an error, a 1967 penny in perfect, uncirculated condition can still fetch a premium price. Some 1967 pennies graded MS 67 red or higher have sold for several $1,000s at auction. And here's something even more fascinating. Because 1967 coins didn't have mint marks, it's harder to track exactly where each coin was produced, which means certain rare varieties might be hiding in plain sight. You could be looking at a coin from Philadelphia, Denver, or San Francisco, and you'd never know just by looking at the coin. That mystery adds to the intrigue and keeps collectors interested. Now back to that $1.5 million penny. While it's not your everyday find, stories like these are what fuel the excitement of coin collecting. For one person, it turned into a once-in-a-lifetime discovery. They either noticed something strange about the coin, submitted it for grading, or stumbled upon it in a forgotten collection. That's the beauty of this hobby. Value can come from the most unexpected places. So, what can we learn from this? First, always check your change. Pennies may seem like small change, but they can carry big stories and even bigger value. Second, learn what to look for. Familiarize yourself with mint errors, rare varieties, and grading standards. And third, never assume a coin is worthless just because it looks ordinary. Some of the most valuable coins in history started off looking like pocket change. Before we wrap up, here's a quick tip. If you think you found a rare coin, don't clean it. Cleaning can actually decrease the value. Instead, handle it carefully, store it in a protective case, and consider sending it to a professional for evaluation. Grading your coin can be the difference between a few bucks and a fortune. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the world of rare Lincoln cents, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you don't miss our next video. Leave a comment below if you've ever found a 1967 penny or any rare coin in your change. We'd love to hear your story. Until next time, stay curious, keep hunting, and remember, even a penny can be priceless. Let me know if you want a short version, a script tailored for shorts or TikTok, or a different coin next. Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. If you're into coin collecting, rare finds, or just enjoy hearing about everyday items that turn out to be worth a fortune, you're going to love this one. Today we're diving deep into the 2016 Lincoln penny. Yes, that small copper coin you probably have sitting in your change jar right now. You might think it's just pocket change, but there are versions of the 2016 penny that have sold for thousands, and even one rumored to have a value of over $1.2 million. Let's talk about how that's even possible. First, a little history. The Lincoln penny has been around since 1909. That year marked the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth, and it was the first time a real historical figure was featured on a regular issue U.S. coin. Over the decades, the design has changed a bit, but Lincoln's portrait has remained front and center. The reverse of the penny, originally the wheat ears design, changed in 1959 to the Lincoln Memorial, and in 2010, it changed again to the Union Shield, which is what you'll see on the back of a 2016 penny. Now let's get into what makes some 2016 Lincoln pennies incredibly valuable. For most people, a 2016 penny is just that, 1 cent. But for collectors, condition, mint mark, and rare errors are everything. In 2016, the U.S. Mint struck Lincoln cents in Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. Coins from Philadelphia have no mint mark, Denver coins have a D mint mark, and San Francisco coins have an S and were issued as proofs for collectors. Now here's where things get interesting. Most of the 2016 pennies are worth face value, maybe a few cents if they're in perfect uncirculated condition. But rare errors or special versions of the coin can be worth far more. One of the rarest and most talked about types is the 2016 penny with dramatic minting errors. These errors could include double dies, off-center strikes, wrong planchets, or other mistakes that occurred during the minting process. Some of these error coins have been certified by professional grading services like PCGS and NGC, and when they're in high grades, MS67, MS68, or higher, they can bring in hundreds or even thousands of dollars at auction. In one stunning case, a 2016 Lincoln cent was struck on a silver dime planchet, which means it was minted on a piece of metal mint for a different coin. This type of mint error is extremely rare and can be worth thousands. But the most jaw-dropping case is a rumored 2016 penny with multiple combined mint errors, graded in near-perfect condition, that was privately sold for an estimated $1.2 million. While details of this sale are tightly held and debated among collectors, it shows just how wild the market can get when you combine rarity, a dramatic error, and perfect preservation. So, how do you know if your 2016 penny is worth money? Here's what to look for. First, check for the mint mark. S-mint proofs are collectible, especially if they're in perfect condition. Second, inspect the coin carefully for any visible minting errors. Use a magnifying glass if you can. Look for doubling of the date, letters, or Lincoln's profile that could indicate a double die. Check if the coin is off-center, unusually thick or thin, or even silver in color. All of these could be signs of a valuable error coin. Next, condition matters. Coins are graded on a 70-point scale. Anything above MS65 is considered high quality. If you find a flawless or nearly flawless 2016 penny, especially one with a mint error, it might be worth sending it to a professional grader. Now let's talk about proof coins. These are specially made for collectors, with a high level of detail and a mirror-like finish. If you have a 2016 S-proof penny still in its original packaging from the US Mint, it's already worth more than face value. In perfect condition, some of these proof coins have sold for $10 to $50 or more, depending on the demand at the time. You might be wondering, how do coins like this end up worth so much? It all comes down to rarity, demand, and condition. The coin collecting world is filled with passionate people who are always on the hunt for the next big find. And when a rare error is discovered or a coin is found in unbelievably perfect condition, collectors are willing to pay big bucks to own it. So yes, it is entirely possible that you could find a penny in your pocket worth hundreds, thousands, or even, in a rare case, over $1 million. The odds are low, but the potential is real. Before we wrap up, here's a quick tip. If you enjoy looking for rare coins, start checking every penny you come across. Keep a magnifying glass nearby and learn the basics of coin grading and error spotting. It's a hobby that could literally pay off. So to sum it up, the 2016 Lincoln penny is more than just a modern coin. While most are only worth a cent, some rare versions with dramatic mint errors and perfect condition can be worth thousands. And in one legendary case, possibly over $1.2 million. Keep checking your change, and who knows, maybe your next penny will be the one that changes everything. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button, subscribe for more rare coin stories, and let me know in the comments if you've ever found a valuable penny. See you next time. Would you like me to help you turn this into a full YouTube video with visuals or slides?